Alright, and welcome back. In this section we're going to talk about getting into Excel, getting out of Excel, finding help in Excel, and a little about a term called interoperability. Interoperability is the ability to take your Excel documents and possibly take them to other computers or even completely different versions of Excel. It's not too complicated. I think you'll find it pretty easy, but it is definitely something we should talk about. I've chosen Windows XP as my environment to present this to you, as opposed to Vista or Linux. Both would have been possible options. This will run under most flavors of Linux now. It will also run under Vista, Microsoft's preferred operating system. I chose XP out of simplicity. Vista adds a little too much, and there are certain layers of complication to make this function under the Linux operating system. I've also decided to skip the entire process of installing the application. It really is a next kind of thing. You put the CD in, follow the prompts. So I won't be going through that now. If you've never installed an application and do need someone to help you through that, I recommend going to your local mom and pop computer repair shop and having them help you out. I'm going to go ahead and start off by clicking on Start, Programs, Microsoft Office, and Excel 2007. You'll also notice I've used it a few times, so it's actually shown here as well. But that's really a feature of XP and not so much Excel itself. So I'm going to stick with the Start, All Programs, Microsoft Office, Microsoft Excel process. I won't be going through the other way because that may not be consistent where you're running it. And we use the left mouse button, click one time, and that'll open right up. Now anyone who's used Excel before is going to notice a huge difference here. And I'm not going to harp too much over comparing and contrasting the previous versions. The Microsoft book does do that. It will spend an entire chapter comparing over previous versions. Needless to say, this new version can hold more data, can organize it more effectively, is more stable, is less likely to cause system errors or problems. Data has been organized where your most commonly used tasks are under Home. Page layout information is under Page layout. Data information is here. Reviewing, views. It's all been organized in an intelligent fashion, and we'll kind of go into each one of these as they come up in each chapter. I'm not going to harp over them because I feel, for the most part, they're pretty clear. To change your font, you go to this little font section, alignment, so on, so on, so on. In previous versions of Excel, you did have dozens, if not more, menus and submenus that drop down covering the entire screen. And Microsoft's eliminated that for the better good. User tests have shown this is a lot easier. Personally, after I got used to it after just a day or two, I found this immensely superior. Before I go into the actual lecture provided by the Microsoft step-by-step book, I think it's really important to cover how to get help. No one knows everything about this program. I have known people who've used Excel for 20 years and they can't answer every question. Computer scientists with PhD get stumped. And that's because this is such a powerful program. No matter how much you study, there's always going to be so much more. It's about making it productive for what you are doing. So we are going to talk about help. And the first thing people are going to notice, the help menu is gone. Don't get scared. They just moved it off to the side. Right here, this little blue question mark. Get help using Microsoft Office. Give that a single click and watch what happens. The Excel help menu opens up. This has come a long way. It's intelligent searching and also has the ability to search online to help you find additional resources if you are connected to the internet. And for instance, if I wanted to look for saving, if I wanted to learn how to save a document in Excel, here brings up 1 of 25 of 62 different types of saving. So wow, there's definitely a lot of options in there. The key things here are saving in PDF. That's a format that any computer can read nowadays. They don't need to have a copy of Excel or another version of PDF that Microsoft is pushing called XPS, and that doesn't seem to really be catching on. It's a couple years old now. No one is using it except for Vista users, so that's really something you don't want to do unless you have a particular business need to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the X in the top right. I'm assuming everyone coming into this is familiar with the basic Windows interface. The X's close everything out, this expands it, and that puts it at the bottom of the screen down here. So if you aren't familiar with that, this is probably a bad place to start. Go ahead and kick this off, exit out of this, and find yourself more an introduction to Windows sort of lecture, and start with that first. So once we're in, how do we get out? Well, of course, we can jump up here and hit the X. Or we can come up here to this new little guy. This is the Office button. We've centralized a lot of the functions that you used to see under the old file menus from older versions of Excel. Right in here, it's giving you that convenient user interface. They've expanded it out, made the icons bigger, easier to see. And right down here at the bottom, Exit Excel. So we can just